But Bill, I don't know if I should be laughing or crying, but I have to share this with you. And, maybe there's someone out there that this will be helpful to. And I want to share these stories because most women go through these situations at some point in their lives. So my stalker slash ex-boyfriend, and I use the ex-boyfriend term very, very advisedly, his accounts vary to mine, but let's just call him my ex-boyfriend, someone who, has anointed themselves as my ex-boyfriend. This person has reappeared in my life. I thought things had calmed down. This is someone who has been following me. Stalking is probably the best term for it, for a long time. Someone who has done a lot of things that have not been so nice, but that person has reappeared. And the latest escalation is that when I went out with a friend of mine on Saturday night, so a couple of days ago, we went out on Saturday night, and in the middle of this night, I was just thinking things had settled down and I wasn't going to see this person again. He came out of the shadows, out of literally the darkness, out of nowhere, and snatched my phone from my hand and ran away with it. So obviously things are escalating. This is now, crime time. I don't know, but I just don't know. And I don't know if this is embarrassing or if this is like scary. I just don't know. I'm very confused. And of course, listen, Bill, I know that, this is not okay and everything like that, but it's also so silly and so pointless and so cruel in some ways. So anyway, let me get to the story. So as some of you know, I posted a couple of videos about an ex of mine who has been kind of repeatedly returning and watching me. And, it's someone who follows me. He follows me in his car. He follows me on foot sometimes. Someone who watches me regularly, looks in my windows from the parking lot and stuff like that. But it's also someone who has not been very kind to me the times that I have let him into my life. He has been very mean and cruel and quite horrible. In fact, there's something to him that's like quite evil, and there's a lot of compassionate, obviously I'm a very compassionate person. Everyone has their kryptonite. And my kryptonite is abandonment issues, and I'm a double Scorpio, so I'm like, oh, obsessive, impressive, stalker, how cute, how scrumptious. But there comes a point where it's not funny anymore, and where I just don't know. But at the same time, it's kind of weird. You tell me. Let me know in the comments. So. This boy is someone who, when I got robbed a couple of weeks ago, he was already my ex, as far as I was concerned. What he was thinking, I don't know. And I, messaged him when I got robbed. I got stranded on the beach. Someone had taken my stuff when I was at the beach, taken my credit cards and stuff like that. So I was kind of stranded at the beach, and I told him about it. And instead of helping me straight away or calling me, he was just like, basically like, oh, he sent me like one message, but it was basically F off, And then 2 hours later, he like thought about it and felt bad, I guess, or whatever. And he was like, let me help you. But it was too late because I had already received help from someone else. But, that's the pattern with him. This is someone who's really not helped me with like, anything. But it's someone who's also, been, whenever I gave him like the time of day, he would be so evil and cruel. And, whenever I showed any kind of vulnerability, it was someone who exploited it to the max and then would return time and time again. This is someone who has like a very short cycle of crazy. So it was like Jekyll and Hyde. It was someone who would come running back like literally hours later and say, oh, I'm sorry, and cry on my doorstep. And then, my bleeding hard liberal nature would be like, oh, please don't cry on my doorstep. And he really exploited my abandonment issues. I have deep abandonment issues from my childhood trauma. I had a very traumatic childhood. And, when I see someone saying, please don't leave me, or like, I need help and stuff like that, I cannot help but help them. So, this whole dynamic continued for a long time. But if I wasn't talking to this boy because he had, like, overstepped the mark or said something really horrible, and please understand, but Bill, and and this is for all the girls out there. You know what happens. Like, this is so relatable. Even Blue Angel, even your love coach goes through this, because we live in a patriarchy, and there's something to whatever happened in the past centuries. Whatever happened when the fall of the goddess happened, when the goddess energy was replaced by patriarchy or dominated by patriarchy. There's something to men that really wants to destroy the high divine feminine. So, whenever I was vulnerable with this boy, he would just become more cruel and more unstable and insane. And I just kept forgiving it because my kryptonite is abandonment issues. Because then, I think he worked it out. Then he realized that all he needs to do is say, please don't leave me. And I would, I wouldn't have the heart to do that. At least, it was clear I'd made it clear to him that I would have to eventually. But that, like, at least for the time, for that day, for that night, for that week, I would make sure that he was okay. So whenever he was, in trouble or in a bad space, I would help him. Anyway, and if I wasn't talking to him, he would just, I would see his car outside. He would, like, send me messages. He watches me, basically. He watches me. He follows me. Sometimes he would follow me on foot, all of this kind of stuff. So anyway, when I got robbed, things had really, like, finished between us, or so I thought. And then when I got robbed, that really finished things, because he was still trying to, like, use the same dynamic. But when he tried to, when I got robbed, he really aggressed me, and he really tried to get the better of me. And he really seemed to enjoy the fact that I was, needing help. And, I don't know, you know what I mean? Like, someone who was like, well, now he literally said to me, now you have nothing and you're on your own. Like, a couple of nights later, he was like, I'm watching you from the parking lot outside my house. I'm watching you, and you're all on your own, eating alone, and you're on your own, and you have nothing now because you got robbed. And now I'm not going to help you. And he made it very clear, and he called me and said, because anyway, he's blocked now, but I had blocked him at the time, and he was like, please unblock me. And then I unblocked him, and he called me from the parking lot where he was watching me and stalking me. He was like, yeah, I'm glad you have nothing now. And I'm glad you're by yourself, and you're by yourself, and you're eating by yourself, and now you have nothing, and goodbye. And then he was like, I'm going to a party now. I'm going to have fun. So that's the kind of boy that we're dealing with. So anyway, my friend came to visit me from London, and it was a great energy. And I thought I would never hear from this boy again. I thought it was done. I have this reflex. This has been going on for months, by the way. So whenever I finish it with this boy, he comes to, like, watch me. I see his car outside. He follows me, or, like, he uses other cars, or he does all kinds of different things. But he's always, like, watching, one way or another. But this time I really didn't see any signs for a long time. So I was like, okay, I think maybe it's done. And when my friend came to visit me in Cyprus, she came for a couple of days. So we had actually quite a few days. We needed more time, but unfortunately she couldn't stay longer. And it was just such a breath of fresh air. And I told her everything that happened. She was such a support, And my Aquarius friend, this is why I love Aquarius so much. And we just had the best time. It was such a revitalizing time for me. And then it came to Saturday night, the night of the eclipse. We had a gorgeous day. And then afterwards, we went to an international meetup, which is, whatever, like one of those, meetup things. It can be a little bit low-key. And then after the meetup, we went to a Euro trash club here, like locally. I wanted to show her the local culture. It was, like, hilarious. So we went out, we danced to Shakira, had some Prosecco. It was hilarious. And I kept looking around because back in the day, this ex-boyfriend / stalker of mine would follow me to those places, and he would watch me, and he would, like, sometimes he would come out of the shadows and, like, if he saw me talking to some guy, he would not like it, and he would come out of the shadows. So this is not the first time, like, I'm very aware. I'm always aware. Like, I know his car inside out. It's been months of this. So I was looking around and I didn't see him. And the night almost came to an end. We went to another club with a bunch of other people, and then we came out of that other club. It was kind of like late at night, and I remember thinking, okay, I think we're clear, like it's done. And maybe partly because my friend was here, you know, so he didn't feel empowered to do anything, because, you know, he knows I'm here on my own. He knows I'm vulnerable in his mind, at least. And I think, you know, that's part of the reason why he's been targeting me. Anyway, I mean, I don't think so. I know so, because he told me. So I thought, okay, maybe my friend being here, like, did a little bit of a purge. And then we come out of the second club, and this is super hazy because it happened like in a flash. But I had my phone in my hand, as I always do, because that is my life. And someone snatches the phone out of my hand, and I see him out of the corner of my eye, and he starts, like, he just appeared out of nowhere. This ex of mine, the stalker, out of nowhere, out of the shadows, out of the darkness, who knows? And he has this, like, ability, you know, not to give him too much credit, but he does, like, he hides. I never see him, like, he follows me. He's followed me when he's admitted to, you know, he's followed me many times before, and I never would have guessed. Like, I just never would have guessed. He just has this ability to, like, hide in plain sight. So he just came out of nowhere and snatched my phone from my hand. And it's like, I don't know, like, was he trying to, I don't know why. Like, it makes no sense. I guess trying to take away the only thing that I have right now, because I'm still waiting for my cards, and he knows that, like, I do everything online. This is my work. This is my livelihood. This is my entire freaking life. And he took the thing that I still have that, you know, I wasn't robbed of, I don't know, to teach me a lesson, unblock himself, who knows. So he started running, and there was a boy in the group with us who was trying to get with me, and I was like, go, you know, I told this peasant, go get this other peasant. And he started chasing after him and somehow got the phone back, which I was surprised at, because this, you know, ex-pupil of mine, he's quite vicious, you know. I think he, from what he told me himself, as though, like, that's something to be proud of. Like, people know he's a little bit, you know, out there, like, he will fight you kind of thing, you know. But somehow this guy got the phone back, and well, I mean, good for me, but it was obviously very weird and traumatizing. And, you know, in some ways very, very sad, because I'm someone who's helped this boy. You know, even when he was mean to me, I've always tried to help him in his time of need. And then to think that he just, what was he going to do with my phone, you know? Like, it was such petty revenge kind of energy. Anyway, then we just all decided to go home, me, my friend, and this guy who got my phone back was going to give us a ride. Then he kind of turned sleazy because his friend was there trying to get with us. So I was like, oh my gosh, you really want to do that now that you've witnessed what I've been going through? Whatever. And then we get to my house. The guy parks the car. I get out, and who do I see coming from behind the tree but the same guy, my ex-boyfriend / stalker. And he started shouting stuff. I thought literally, I was like, is this a hallucination? I was like, is this what it's come to? But it was him. And I told this guy again, like, okay, we'll go chase him. And the guy, like, totally changed its tune. He was like, you know, because he tried to get with me and he couldn't. He was like, oh no, I'll deal with him tomorrow. Don't worry, I'll take care of you, all this BS. And I was like, no, this is your opportunity. Oh my God, these, you know, big macho men never do the job. And then he was like, no, like, you know, don't wake up your neighbors. Let's not cause a scene. And I was like, this man is causing a scene already. I'm so tired of this. I'm so tired of him, you know, hiding, and I don't even know what he's trying to achieve. So this other guy would not chase him. So I started chasing like, your mommy got triggered. I started chasing my stalker, and I was like, okay, let's go. And he actually started running away from me. Like, this is not a joke. This is what happened. And then he disappeared into the darkness. I don't know where he went. Like, I don't know. And I tried to call him a few times, and he wouldn't answer. He just disappeared. He just disappeared into the darkness. And I just shouted at the air, you know. I was like, show yourself, and, you know, stop. You know, something goes on for many months, and there's, like, no conclusion to it. Like, it really F's with your mind. So I was like, just stop this. Stop this. Show yourself. I was like, show yourself. And then I totally lost respect for the boy who was with me. So I was like, so the stalker disappeared into the darkness, but I'm sure he was still there. And then I totally lost respect for this other boy, and I told my friend who was with me, okay, you know what? We're going home. And these two boys, like, they thought they were still going to go with us, him and his friend. Obviously, that was never going to happen, but you know how it is. Hope dies last. So they were like, they tried to follow us, you know, to my door, and I opened the door, and then I turned around, and I said, okay, now all of you, I am tired of you, and you can all F off. And like, I said it to the air, I said it to the two guys, like my stalker, all of them, the boys in the bushes and the boys by my door. And my friend told me, that like when I said it, and then I slammed the door in their faces, and she said like they looked like two statues, like they were so shocked, totally not expecting it. But what else do you expect with Bill? I have to chase my own stalker down the street like it's some kind of like a B-grade 80s detective drama? Stop, please, no. Anyway, this is the conclusion to this whole story. I don't even know, but Bill, I'm so tired. And then there's going to be a part 2, because then I'll tell you about the aftermath and what happened with this ex-boyfriend of mine, because he has been doing, you know, his drama ever since as well. So I'll do part 2, maybe today, maybe tomorrow. I love you, my Bill. Let me know in the comments, have you ever had an ex-boyfriend following you like this? And did he come out from behind a tree? And did you ever find that you had a stalker, but it was a little bit embarrassing? I don't know. Let me know in the comments below. And also remember, girls, this is so related. This happens to every girl. It is so sad. This happens to us all the time. And I've been told, even in my own comments on YouTube, oh, don't talk about it. Why are you giving it attention? You should shh. Do not shh, because that's how they get us. That's how they unalive us. That's how this kind of stuff continues. Do not be quiet about any kind of bad behavior that people do to you, be it your partners, your parents. This is something that happened to me in my life, and you know, obviously affected my life, that I had, you know, people told me to be hush hush about things that, you know, my caretaker did to me when I was a child. And yeah, I'm not gonna let some douche flute from the streets hiding behind a tree get the better of me. So, you know, everything is continuing as usual at Blue Angel Love Tarot. I actually had a great night out with my friend. You know, I feel like I need a vacation from my travelpreneur vacation, but it's all good. Yeah, let me know in the comments what, you know, what would you do? And let me know in the comments, have you ever had a situation like this? And tell me, if you're a man, why are all of you so trash? Like, hashtag not all men, we know this. I always say this, but also, what is going on? All right, Bill, I love you. Stay sparkly, stay gorgeous, stay moisturized, and may the angels protect you.